I recently checked out some mods for Command & Conquer Generals, and a few of you happened to ask me if I had ever played Tiberium Essence, a project for Command & Conquer 3 that's been around for a while now. Honestly, I'm kind of embarrassed that it's taken me this long to get around to it, because Tiberium Essence sounds like it was made just for me. It's built on my second favourite Command & Conquer game, Tiberium Wars, and aims to bring it more in line with my favourite Command & Conquer game, Tiberian Sun. Because as you may already know, CNC3, while a fantastic game, did change tact quite significantly from its predecessor that was released 8 years earlier. Tiberian Sun was dark, grungy. It was a techno-futuristic sequel to Tiberian Dawn that took things in a whole new direction. And I love CNC3, but let's be honest, it didn't feel much like Tiberian Sun. It had more of a generic sci-fi tone, it lost some of the camp, and it took itself a bit more seriously. Plus, the gritty look was mostly replaced with either lots of blue or lots of red. So, does Tiberium Essence successfully transform Command & Conquer 3 into a more thematic successor to Tiberian Sun? Well, yes, but also no, and I'll get into why a bit later. First, let's go over what this mod actually brings, the changes it makes, and how successful it is in doing so. I want to begin by clearing up some confusion that I ran into when downloading this mod. If you look on the ModDB page, you'll see multiple files available. There's Tiberium Essence 1.5, 1.6, 2.0 Alpha, and this begs the question, which one do you download? Well, if you said the most recent one, you'd maybe be wrong. Maybe. You see, the numbers here are a little confusing, so I'll try and put it in simple terms. 1.6 is the latest version of the original Tiberium Essence mod, and 2.0 Alpha is the alpha version of Tiberium Essence 2, which is sort of like a spin-off slash sequel to the original, kind of like Command & Conquer 3 and Kane's Wrath. TE 1.6 modifies the original 3 factions, among other things, while TE 2 adds the Forgotten faction, changes the existing ones even more, and plans to add another future faction in Cabal, though that's not available yet. TE2 is also an alpha as the name suggests, so expect more bugs, crashes, and general instability. I didn't find it to be too bad, to be honest, but I'll talk about the technical stuff a bit later on. You can play Tiberium Essence in single or multiplayer, and you can even enjoy the full campaigns from CNC3 for all 3 factions as well, which is pretty awesome. Obviously the mod can't do much to affect the tone and structure of the narrative, but being able to play with new units and abilities makes it feel legitimately fresh. Plus, things have been tweaked and balanced to support the new content, so you shouldn't need to worry about the unbalanced economy from CNC3's final patch, where EA updated the game to balance multiplayer, but in their infinite wisdom forgot about the campaign, where the changes to Tiberium collection speed made things much more difficult. This is only with version 1.6 though. Tiberium Essence 2 is currently purely a skirmish mod. If you do try and play the campaign inside of it, you'll run into triggers just simply not working, and you won't be able to progress. The 3 factions from Tiberium Wars have seen a raft of changes, ranging from visual updates to complete unit swaps. GDI have had their second Tiberium War era vehicles return, as have Nod, and I think it's the Brotherhood who have benefited the most here. Because obviously we've seen some of these GDI units reappear already in Kane's Wrath, and something about the authenticity of the new Nod units makes me really love them, probably because of how much of the coolness factor had been lost between Tiberian Sun and Tiberium Wars. We've now got true Tic-Tank successors, the Devil's Tongue has returned, and even my beloved Banshee is back, here to bomb the daylights out of the Skrin, which is kind of ironic when you think about it. Speaking of the Skrin, they are interesting in their own way too. Obviously for Nod and GDI there's reference from Tiberian Sun to draw from for their updates, but the Skrin could be anything. And yeah, they're pretty sweet. They've got some great units, new mechanics, a really cool big super unit just like the other 2 factions. Yeah, I'm on board. All 3 of the factions are also granted access to gates and walls, which is another Tiberian Sun classic, and all of the ability trees have seen a top to bottom rebuild to better suit the updated factions. Tiberium Essence 2.0 takes things even further. The most significant addition is of course the Forgotten, an entire brand new faction to represent the disparate groups of mutants, rebels, and general Tiberium-infested scum and villainy that have been growing ever since Tiberium first appeared on the Earth. They of course had a small appearance in CNC3, with mutant units being able to be trained through capturable hovels, and if you played CNC4, you might even remember that game having quite a few forgotten units in itself. But this is obviously a whole other level, and it adds a whole new aspect to the game. And once we have Cabal added as well, that'll make for 5 unique factions to play as in skirmish, multiplayer, and maybe even some custom missions. Going back to 1.6 quickly, another thing that you can play there is, get this, the entirety of Tiberian Sun remade inside of CNC3. It's available as a separate download, and I gotta say, this is really cool. The one catch is that you have to play through the custom map menu, so there's no like cutscenes or narrative here, like there would be in the base game. But all the missions are here, and even a few from Firestorm. It's awesome to see them reimagined inside CNC3's engine, and it's a great way to spend some time, no matter if you're simply a Tiberium Wars enjoyer looking for something new, or a Tiberian Sun enjoyer wanting to experience things with a twist. Technically, I had no real big issues to speak of with Tiberium Essence. I did have the odd crash here and there, but it was basically always surrounding an Alt-Tab while I was recording through OBS, so no harm done. As it turned out, with General's 0 Hour Enhanced, I'm basically doing it to myself, so that's fine. Otherwise, there's no crashes I can remember, no bugs to speak of, and performance was solid. It's fair to say that it's all screwed together really well. Like all Sage Engine RTS games, Tiberium Essence is locked to 30 FPS, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's definitely not a deal breaker, because visually it all looks great, as CNC3 always has. The new gore is a nice touch to that as well. So look, if you're used to the 30 FPS of Sage Engine games by now, it's not going to be a problem. I think at this point, I just overlook it. The future of Tiberium Essence is a little up in the air at this point. If you're at all familiar with the project, you'll know it's been in development for a long time. I mean, hell, this version that we're playing right now, 1.6, initially came out over 10 years ago in 2014. And the 2.0 alpha, that was released in 2019. And we're yet to get any news on when the next version of either of those might be, if ever. There was talk of a hypothetical version 1.7 to succeed 1.6, but that talk was also in 2019, so your guess is as good as mine, if that's still on the cards at all. I would presume no, considering we're still getting updates every year or so about version 2, with the latest being in December of 2024. Actually, it seems like there's always an update around December, so hey, maybe there's one for 2025 just around the corner, any day now. Maybe it'll even be out when you're watching this. I mean, knowing my luck, the second I release this video, there will be a new version of the mod out that nullifies everything I've said up until this point. Not much I can do about that, I guess. I'll just have to make a new video, that's fine by me. Before we wrap up, I thought it'd be nice to talk about a few other options if you're looking for good mods for CNC3. Hell, if you think any of these are particularly great, or know of any other ones that I didn't mention, let me know in the comments and I'll try and make a video on it. First up, Tiberium Wars Advanced aims to bring CNC3 closer to its westward roots, while featuring units from newer games like Kane's Wrath and CNC4. It's still in development, and its most recent release is from 2022, though it did get a news update just a few weeks ago, and there was a trailer as well, so shouldn't be far away for something new there. Similar to Tiberium Essence 2, the Forgotten mod, as the name suggests, adds a new faction, along with a single-player campaign focusing on that group. It had its most recent release in 2020, and based on that, plus the lack of recent news, I would say that it's probably not being developed anymore. But let me know if you've heard otherwise. One vision for Kane's Wrath aims to, in the creator's words, perfect the gameplay experience of Kane's Wrath. It's a complete overhaul and features new faction upgrades and units, in line with all the factional and sub-factional lore. It had its last release back in 2022, so I don't think it's still being worked on, but the creator did say that they've moved mostly over to Discord at this point, so there could be updates to the project over there. Let me know if you've heard anything. Lastly, Tiberium Dusk for Kane's Wrath is a total overhaul that features core gameplay changes to CNC3, new units, new models, voice acting, music, and more. I'm particularly interested in this one as its feature list is long and significant, so I reckon this will get its own video at some point in the future. It's still being updated, it had a new version, 1.27, released on ModDB just 2 weeks ago, so yeah, this one's looking good. If you've played it, let me know what you think. And yeah, like I said, let me know if there's any of these in particular that you want me to check out, and I'll see what I can do. But back to the topic at hand, Tiberium Essence is a great mod, and if you haven't tried it, you should definitely give it a go. If I had to recommend one version, I'd say start with 1.6 and see what you think. If you're really itching for that new faction, then 2.0 may be better for you, but personally, I find more value in playing the original campaign and the modded in Tiberian Sun campaign over just skirmishing. But hey, the great thing is that you can do both and see what you like for yourself. You can grab the mod in either flavor through ModDB, and I will leave links in the description for you to do so. I've also been looking for ways to support its creator Carnius, aside from just spreading the word, but I haven't been able to find any Patreon or anything, so I would ask if you know it, or know of any other way to support him, then do leave a comment and I will pin it for others to see. I was able to find a Patreon for the guy who made the Tiberian Sun missions, so if you do want to support him, then that link is in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and hey, speaking of support, if you want to support me, then you can do so via Patreon or YouTube memberships for as little as $1 a month. It helps me massively, and it directly goes towards me making more and better videos. Huge thanks to those who do so already. That's Quinn Bolter, sorry I forgot to shout you out for joining at the night tier last time, so thank you very much. And my Cavaliers, Dakayo, Grey Spirit 4, George, Pavel, Bram, Christian, Dan, Orion, Disroofkin, and Candy Bunny Bun, and my goated paladins, Johnny Marica, Tank, Empyrean, Sparrow, and Sean. Thanks so much, guys. As always, really appreciate it. Thank you all again, and we'll see you soon.
System.